What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we're going to go over some playium news here for the upcoming events. We do have CVC happening in 19 hours, so these events are going to be happening during CVC. They're going to be two different progressive events. Both events will be lasting 24 hours, so let's jump into the news. So first here, we got this list of champions on day one. So we do have a new champion here, so you guys might be interested in that. He's going to be from the Lizardman faction, Karen, the Harvester. So Karen's right here. Kind of looks like Lazurius, but not so crazy, of course. He's a support-based champion. He's got good base HP and 109 base speed, which is pretty good for a support champion. Let's quickly go over his kit here. He's got an AoE, 75% chance to place decreased speed when fully booked. That's really, really strong. That's really good. And then he steals turn meter as well. 5% of enemies turn meter or 10% if they're under decreased speed. So if you're hitting like 4 or 5 champions, you could potentially steal quite a bit of turn meter. Obviously in place like Spider and stuff, you're going to steal lots and lots of turn meter and stuff. His A2 here is a single target hit. You're going to lock them out fully. And then you have a 100% chance when fully booked of decreasing the turn meters of all enemies under sleep by 15%. Has a 100% chance of decreasing turn meters of all enemies without sleep by 30%. Really, this move requires accuracy, of course. It's got a 3-turn cooldown. It looks pretty good. Like, you fully lock out one champion and then you basically push back turn meters on all the enemies. It's a good move. Let's go to his A3. 5-turn cooldown, book down to 4-turn. AoE, 100% chance of placing sleep. Ignores block debuffs, so you can't have immunity against it or place block debuffs. He can still go through it, which is pretty cool. Then places an extra turn. This is on 4-turn cooldown. So I guess the idea is to go sleep and then you lock out one champion, I guess. Passive here, passive effect whenever an enemy attempts to increase their turn meter, decrease its value, so it's less effective by 25%. Active effect, 1-turn cooldown. When sleep is removed or expired, instantly activate Thresh Master, which is its A2. Does not work if sleep is removed by damage. Okay, so if you wake them up with your own damage, then it doesn't work. But if they wake up, then this will happen. If they wake up, you will lock them out and then push back the enemy turn meter. Now that's pretty strong. That is pretty strong. So the first thing you do is put them to sleep. After you put them to sleep, hopefully the passive comes in and then you just lock them out. If they don't wake up, let's say you get your extra turn, you will lock out one champion, I guess. The thing is, if you don't want to use the A1, it kind of doesn't make too much sense. Like if this was a single target, it kind of meshes a little bit better with this kit, even though the AoE is so much better. But if you put everybody to sleep and then you wake them up with the A1, then it's kind of not great. So you're going to go A3 and then lock out one champion. But if you get a turn again, then you're going to wake everybody up. So it might not work out that way, of course, but I can definitely see it working that way sometimes. So either way, I mean, this guy is a pretty strong control champion, but hopefully the A1 doesn't mess up the waking up of everybody too often. All right, moving on to the next champion up for grabs in the progressive event. We have Mr. Thorman here. Thor, past fusion from last year during the Asgard divide. Extremely, extremely good champion here. He's got A1, big slam A1 here. He's also got an A2. This one's the big move for him. Yeah, it just hits like crazy. First, you target the basically like strongest champion, and then the ricochet hits afterwards will deal more and more damage to the other targets. And then his A3 brings an extra utility hit here with the decreased speed. That's really nice. But it doesn't hit as hard as the A2. The A2 hits really hard. The A1 hits really hard. And then he has a passive here that just kind of hits all the time. This is not going to be extremely hard hitting, but it's a little bit extra damage for him. Great champion, was a great addition overall. I actually use him, in my Hydra team, so he's very good for a damage dealer. Definitely worth your time if you have him. Can be used to farm campaign, can be used for arena. Good for Hydra. He's a great champ. After Thor, we have Estrid, the Estrid Dream Song here from Sylvan Watcher. She was a fusion as well, I believe last Easter, so almost a year ago. Really good champ. She is similar to the Fusion actually, in that she does bring decreased speed and weaken as well. So this is obviously very good, especially for Hydra. I think on Estrid's kit, this ability makes more sense. I think decrease speed and weaken, and then she also brings increased speed, increased attack, and turn meter boost as well. Very very nice kit, especially for Hydra. She can be used in arena as well. She does have a speed in arena battles and a A1 sleep, which is a little bit annoying as well for some single target control. And something that doesn't really get talked too much about her is that her passive does provide a small heal. So it's actually pretty good. 115 base speed, fastest in the game. She's a great champion. Definitely worth your time. After that, we have Lady Kimmy. Lady Kimmy here from the Shadowkins. 115 base speed, extremely fast, has the block buffs here, so you basically replace a buff. If they have like stone skin and stuff, you can replace stone skin and give them block buffs. Also has the turn meter fill, increase accuracy, increase speed. Very good at setting up lockout champions, bomb champions. And then you have the A2 here with the decrease accuracy, decrease speed, and the push turn meter pushback. So she goes turn meter up, turn meter pushback, and then A1 does turn meter pushback as well. It's very good champion. Can be used in a lot of different applications. She has speed in Doom Tower battles. Like I said, 115 base speed, fastest in the game. And then the last non-void legendary we have here is Strategos Island. So Strategos Island here. He's actually a good champion. He was a fusion back in the day as well. A little bit, I guess, underappreciated maybe. This guy is a great champion. Brings an A1 provoke, 50% chance, and then he has a decreased speed on his A2, a very little strip here as well. And then he also brings ally protection and increased defense. Also places counterattack on himself, so he's a good target for mischief. So if you want to build him with the resistance, he'll self-buff himself, and then he can tank the mischief hits for you in Hydra. That's kind of where I used him in the beginning. He's actually quite solid. He brings A1 provoke, like I said, and then the AoE decreased speed. A little bit of survivability for your team. His passive is very strong. Makes him extremely durable. Provides your team a little bit of healing. Provides himself with some defense and some healing as well. Good overall champ, just for general support. So that rounds out the non-void. So now let's talk about the void champions here. We got some nice ones here from the Lizardmen. What do we got here? We got Fighty Teocris. Excellent champion here. I would really like this guy. He's really cool. Great for PvP, great for PvE as well. A1 team-wide heal here, small heal. A2 has an AoE strip, so it's gonna strip all your buffs. And then he has a 100% chance of landing block buffs, and then decreased speed, and also a turn meter fill for yourself. Can be used for Hydra with block buffs, decreased speed. Turn meter boost is good. Can also be used for Chimera as well, decreased speed, turn meter boost. And then we have the big money move here, increase resistance, perfect veil on everybody except for himself. Decrease the cooldown of all active skills except this champions by 3 turns. Usually 3 turns is enough to bring all skills back. But this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so it's going to come back relatively quickly. Passive here, not necessarily insane or anything, but gives you a little bit of recovery from this hard CC, giving you a little bit of turn meter. And then this sheep debuff recovery here gives you a little bit of extra HP and increased speed so you can recover. Resistance in all battles, 105 base speed, great base HP as well. But his big move here is going to be this reset ability, which is going to power up a lot of your teams to do more damage, to recover faster, and so forth. Moving on, we have Krisk as well coming in for the Voids. This guy needs no introduction. Very old champion here now. Does everything. Does everything you want in PvE. Can also help you in PvP as well. Obviously not as insane, but he can still be quite good in many areas. Brings an AoE decreased speed on the A1. Ally protection, continuous heals on its A2. AoE provoke, increase defense, increase speed on a 3-turn cooldown. And then his passive also decreases attack and decreases defense. And he places a shield at the start of turn. Incredible champion, does everything you want, has horrible speed at 94 speed. But I guess he's a giant turtle with a super heavy shell, so 94 kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, he's up for grabs. And last but not least, we have Tremera. Tremera Dark Elf. She was recently reworked, and she's actually pretty decent now. So Tremera here, great base HP, good stats overall, I think. And then she comes with the A1 AoE, decreased speed, has a chance to place Fear, which is really interesting as well. So this makes her ability very, very strong. Her A1 AoE, decreased speed, and AoE Fear. It's a conditional fear, of course, but it's still very strong. Her A2 here, another AoE. It's 100% stun. After attacking, there is a 100% chance of decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 30%. So a stun and turn meter pushback. Very, very devastating ability. It's on a 4-turn, luckily, but it's still very devastating. The A3 here, 3-turn cooldown, full team cleanse with a turn meter boost, and then blocked debuffs as well. And then further turn meter boosting for a hard CC that gets removed. But you're going to get a smaller turn meter fill for any debuff that gets removed. So a really, really strong 3-turn team-wide cleanse here from Tremera. I would say one of the better ones for sure. And then her passive here, immune to hard CC. Not all of them. It doesn't look like it's all of them. Petrification she is not immune to. And then she gets turn meter fill when somebody tries to hard CC her. So it looks like she's not immune to provoke and petrification, but she's immune to everything else. That's pretty wild. So you have a cleanser here that is immune to all this stuff, which means that, you know, that's one thing you don't have to worry about, is that she will most likely get a turn and then save your team and then turn meter boost them as well. She also brings speed in all battles aura. Very, very good champion. So after a rework, she went from total garbage to pretty good. Pretty good. So this is your day 1 champions. There is a day 2, so let's jump into that. All right, so these are the champions for day 2. Starting off with the first champion, Glaciate of the Meltwater. I would really like this guy. Really, really good. Similar stats to Duchess. Same aura as Duchess. Has a A1 freeze. It's conditional. It's not as good as CF or anything, but it's not bad. Doesn't need accuracy. If you reach a condition, it can't be resisted. A2 here, similar to Duchess, increase attack, perfect veil, turn meter boost. So instead of block debuffs, you're getting a turn meter boost here. And then on the A3, it's going to be similar again. It's going to be a team revive on a 4-turn cooldown. You're going to get increased accuracy, increased defense. You can use this ability without reviving anybody, which is really good. It's a lot different than Duchess, for example. So you can place increased accuracy, increased defense without reviving anybody. If you do that, you do get an extra turn, which is really, really nice. It's actually some nice flexibility in his kit. His passive here gives you a damage boost for champions under Perfect Veil, which is solid at boosting your team's overall damage. He's a good candidate for a protection set as well. You get 2 buffs here, you get 2 buffs here, and then you get some damage here. So you're getting a bunch of damage for a protection set, 9-piece protection set, I mean, and then you get some additional damage from his passive. So a good candidate here for a lot of team comps for Hydra, maybe even Chimera, for example. Good champ. Up next, we have Necmo Thar. Necmo Thar is extremely, extremely good. His value went up like crazy for Hydra. His value went up like crazy for a Chimera. Great champion, bringing the speed in all auras battle. Got a turn meter boost, increased speed, big turn meter boost as well, decreased speed and leech, and then decreased attack on the A1. Crazy champion. Was a guarantee at some point. I forget what he was. 12. He was like one of the first guarantees, sacred guarantees. I forget, 15 sacred shards maybe. But yeah, back in the day, very good champion. You can easily build a team around him for like Hydra and Chimera. He's definitely featured in a lot of those teams for those content. Up next, we have Opardin Clanfather. Opardin Clanfather got a little bit of a boost lately from Chimera because he does synergize super, super well with Senna Amberheart. The big thing about Opardin Clanfather is that he brings a lot of turn meter boosting. So continuous heals here, lots of healing here. Does do a kind of a soft cleanse here, removing 2 debuffs and then placing block debuffs on yourselves. not too bad, but it's not great. It does place the 2 continuous heals, which give you a little bit of value. And then whenever continuous heals goes off, you get a bit of a turn meter boost. So all this continuous heal stuff works really well with Senna, with the turn meter stuff. So that's where he's seeing a lot of his value go up. But if you just have him, he's actually not bad for general support, just for some heals. Moving on to Stalk the Broken. Stalk the Broken was a recent fusion, actually. Good champ. Got speed in all ores battle. He's got the A1 double hit here. You got the chance of increasing duration of poison HP burn. His A2 is a double hit. You instantly activate poison HP burns and all continuous heals. Second hit has a chance to destroy max HP for each poison HP burn debuff activated. Then fills turn meter of all allies by 20%. So it's a bit of a poison HP burn activator on the A2. And then the A3 here is an AoE. You're placing poisons. If the target's under HP burn, you place more poisons, and then you place a weaken as well. You also place 2 continuous heals on your team. Now, the big knock against Stalk is that he can't place HP burn himself, so that he can't take advantage of the full value of this ability. If you get the weaken and 3 poisons and 2 continuous heals on a 3-turn cooldown, that's pretty massive. But the fact that he can't place HP burn himself, it's a little bit of a negative. His passive here allows the poison HP burn to go through block damage and unkillable. Not a big thing for PvE, I think. But yeah, overall, he's not as crazy as a lot of the other poisoners with full dedicated kits to poison. I think if he had HP burn, he probably would be a lot better, or maybe something like increased speed or some kind of turn meter, more turn meter stuff. I think. Yeah, he can't really do it full solo like Theodore, for example. But he's a great champion to pair with those other poison champions as well, because he does extend, he does detonate, and then he can support you with some continuous heals. So still a good champion overall. All right, moving on, we have Kaja the Rye. Kaja the Rye here from the Bannerlords. She was a old Deck of Fate champion, 20 Sacred Shards back in the day. But yes, there she is. Really high base speed. Got the speed in all wars battle. Got an A1, a little bit of a heal here. Got the A2 team revive with the increased crit rate and increased crit damage. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. If you have Timid on the same team, I mean, Timid's not as good as Kaja by themselves, but together they're not bad. Timid gets a lot better with her as well. The full turn meter and full HP is really, really nice, of course. And then her A3 here is a turn meter fill with a bit of a cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. That's actually pretty decent. And then, of course, the block debuffs here. So it's kind of like it's not premium. It's not premium, but it works decently. Of course, if Timid is on the team, then it becomes quite good. It's a full team cleanse with a turn meter boost and a block debuffs on a 3-turn. Pretty good. Lastly, her passive makes her kind of immune to turn meter stuff, which is kind of in the flavor of her overall kit. All right, so on to the Void champions here. We do have a new champion here, Aretha Corpse Flower. Aretha Corpse Flower, one of the new DPS champions for the Sylvan Watchers. Much needed for her. It's got a good spread of stats here, low HP, similar to like Rhodos. If you had to compare like a champion, similar to Rhodos' stat distribution. So now the big thing with her is that you probably want to get the A3 out first. So go increase accuracy, and then you can apply Death Brand on a target along with Hex. So you're basically debuffing a target, and then you're going to be doing the turn meter fill on yourself. This is a pretty big one, 50% fill here. You also get 10% additional turn meter fill for each debuff landed. So you're going to land 2 here, so you're getting an additional 20, and then you put block damage on yourself. So you're setting yourself up to kind of deal big damage. And then her A2 comes in. She got a double hit AoE here. The damage will increase for each enemy under Hex. Ignore shield and strengthen buffs. Will also ignore block damage on enemies under Hex. And then you get a turn meter boost. Fills this champion's turn meter by additional 20% for each enemy killed. Now, the problem with her is obviously, one, you got to set stuff up. Even though you get a 50% turn meter boost, that's not ideal. You do get the block damage, so most likely you get a turn. But you know, like Deathbrand is it's not protected or anything like that. It's not a protected debuff, so you can be cleansed off. Also, you know, against enemies that have stone skin and stuff like that, Deathbrand doesn't, you know, get applied. So for her to go first, you need a strip champion in front of her, and then you need that Deathbrand to kind of stay on there, right? So same thing applies to Hex. The thing is, her damage increases for each enemy under Hex, but she only places it on one. So it's not going to be a huge boost, unfortunately. We don't know the multipliers at the time of this video yet, but you know, it seems like a pretty big investment in terms of time and setup. She does scale up in terms of her threat level every time she kills an enemy. So I don't know if that's overall going to be worth it. Maybe she becomes like an insane threat after killing 3. But initially, I don't think these two seem to be super strong. Of course, playtests will, you know, could show different, but right now they seem to be quite clunky. All right, moving on, we have Sifi from the Undead. Sifi, obviously insanely good champion from way back in the day. I think, you know, most of her use is going to be in PvP. 114 base speed is going to be your speed booster, block debuffs. A1 sleep, incredibly good for control, single target revive on the 4-turn cooldown here. Also passively removes fear and freeze sometimes, something that gets forgotten quite a bit. But I use her quite a lot. She was my most recent 6-star champion. And yeah, she's, you know, she's great. She's still a great champion, pairs extremely well with Rotos, of course. And she's going to be up for grabs on day 2. Lastly, the last Void champion here coming in on day 2 is going to be from the Sylvan Watchers. We have Incenza Grail Bearer here. I have this champion. She's actually really strong. She brings A1 AoE decreased attack, and then she also pairs up with your highest crit damage champion to attack the champion with the lowest HP. So it just adds some extra damage. The A2 here has got the turn meter boost, big turn meter boost, Poison Cloud, which is awesome. Basically makes the champion that you place the Poison Cloud on only take weak hits. So they take significantly less damage. They don't get debuffed. They also get increased speed and 2 continuous heals. And of course, the turn meter boost, you got 3-turn cooldown here, which is really good value. And then you got the AoE decreased defense and weaken here on the A3 on a 3-turn cooldown. We'll ignore block debuffs. Great champion overall. Her passive is not significant, but it does alleviate some of the accuracy requirements here. She does bring accuracy in all battles. But great kit, great support kit. Good champion to boost damage for areas like Hydra, for example. And yeah, she's going to be available on day 2 for the progressive event. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for the event breakdown here. I will be streaming during CBC. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys drop on by. As I always say with these progressive events, make sure you guys plan accordingly for your accounts. These progressive events are basically to shake you free of your shards. Progressive chances are very low, especially for the non-voids. If you're targeting a single void champion from this list, your odds can be starting at around 19-20%, whereas non-voids you're probably looking at about 7% to start. Not great odds, and obviously you're gambling with non-boosted rates, which are already a struggle already. So obviously keep your expectations in check. But for me, I rarely pull for these types of events. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for the news breakdown here. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are planning to do, and I'll see you guys in the next video.